Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about how the Buccaneers can redeem Ronald Jones in year 2 of his time with the team. So, Jason Licht recently had a press conference at the Combine, and one of the things that he said was that not only is he not ready to give up on Ronald Jones, but the entirety of the Buccaneers organization is not ready to give up on Ronald Jones. And I have to agree with him. I personally feel that Ronald Jones can redeem himself in year 2 with the team. And I know there's a lot of fans out there who are saying, well, Ronald Jones is a bust. He didn't do anything whenever we gave him the ball in preseason and training camp and whatnot. And the Buccaneers should just go out into free agency and just sign a feature back already, because we haven't had one in a long time. And you know what? I feel that Ronald Jones can be a feature back, and I'm going to talk about the steps that the Buccaneers need to take to redeem Ronald Jones. Hashtag redeem Ronald Jones. Now, the first thing that the Buccaneers can do to redeem Ronald Jones is play him more in games. Ronald Jones only played in 9 games last season. Now, I don't know what it was with the offensive staff, but they did not want to play their rookies last year. Ronald Jones didn't play, Alex Kappa didn't play, and Justin Watson did not play as well. Ronald Jones only played in 9 games. He was inactive for a handful of games, and he was also injured for a couple of games as well, but he only had 22 rushing attempts. Both Jaquiz Rodgers and Peyton Barber had more, and he only played in 90 offensive snaps, which only accounted for 8% of the Buccaneers' offensive snaps for the entirety of the season. Both Jaquiz Rodgers and Peyton Barber had more. So I feel that is the first step, is play Ronald Jones more, both in training camp, both in preseason, and in games. And I feel that you will have a way better time and actually figure out what he can do for your team. One of the things I like about Bruce Arians is that he's going to give every single player on this roster a chance to show what they can do. He's going to have 2 different types of practices, both running at the same time. I think that is very innovative. He's going to try his darndest to make sure that everybody gets a look and can show what they do. I think that is going to help Ronald Jones in a huge way, because then it'll help you with my next point, and that is trying to define a role for Ronald Jones and see what he can do. So as it stands right now, nobody really knows what Ronald Jones' role should be on this team. Certainly last year, the coaching staff did not know under any circumstances. They had no idea what was going on with Ronald Jones, and they just flat out didn't use him. So what should the Buccaneers do with Ronald Jones? Well, if you were to ask Bruce Arians, he would say that he's really excited to see if Ronald Jones can duplicate the same type of role that Arians had for David Johnson back in his time in Arizona. So what did David Johnson do? Well, David Johnson, he was not only the feature back for the Arizona Cardinals, but he also did a really good job as being the receiving back for the team as well. He did have a little bit more power than Ronald Jones, so to speak, but I feel that Ronald Jones, if given enough time, enough cultivation, and enough training, can do the things that David Johnson did with the Arizona Cardinals. I'm not saying he's going to be as good as David Johnson, because we have no idea if that's possible yet. David Johnson's one of the top running backs in the league, but I feel that if you give Ronald Jones enough time to work as a receiving back, let him work with a little bit of power, and make sure he gets outside of the tackles and into open space so he can show that elusiveness that made you draft him in the 2nd round of this past draft, I really think things could work out well for Ronald Jones. And I think with his current coaching staff, with Bruce Arians, Todd McNair, Byron Leftwich, I really feel that he's going to get enough time and enough opportunities to show what type of running back he can be. And I'm really excited to see what he can do in terms of as a receiving back and kind of have that David Johnson type of role, because they tried working on it last year. Ronald Jones is a receiving back, and there were some good moments and there were some bad moments, but I feel now that he's had a whole year to develop and kind of work on it, I feel that, you know, given with this current coaching staff being vastly better than the last coaching staff, I feel that the development is going to get a lot better. Finally, the last thing that you can do to redeem Ronald Jones, hashtag redeem Ronald Jones, is work on that offensive line. Develop that offensive line, okay? You have some pieces there already in terms of guys like Ali Marpet, Ryan Jensen, and DeMar Dodson. Donovan Smith, he's probably going to be coming back to the team as well, but you're still going to need to figure out what the heck's going on at right guard. Me personally, I think Alex Kappa is going to get a really good shot, but I feel that they're also going to sign a fringe starter type of veteran to try and fill in that role as well. With Harold Goodwin on the team, I feel that he's going to work really hard with the offensive line on a lot of the things that they didn't do well this past season, because To be fair, the offensive line last year was not very good at run blocking. Peyton Barber had to make up a lot of his own yards just through sheer willpower alone. And whenever Ronald Jones or Jaquiz Rogers got the ball, they were pretty much hit in the backfield because defensive linemen were just going right by in terms of run defense. So the offensive line really has to work in terms of their overall run blocking, and I feel if you fix that, a lot of the problems that Ronald Jones was suffering are going to clear up as well. Yeah, guys, that's it. Number one, you have to play Ronald Jones more. Dirk Cutter, what were you doing? You didn't develop any of the rookies last year. I mean, the ones who were developed, like guys like Carlton Davis and Vita Vea, among others, I feel they just got pretty much lucky, okay? Just through sheer willpower alone, they were able to develop themselves because that coaching staff did not do a very good job of developing anybody last year, especially Ronald Jones. So that's number one. You need to play Ronald Jones more so he can actually learn more things of what to do in game time situations and just be a better overall running back. Number two, you need to figure out what type of role you're going to have for Ronald Jones. They tried to make Ronald Jones a receiving back last year. Me personally, I feel that they just tried for the sake of saying, well, at least we tried, and then they went back to Jaquiz Rogers. I feel that the past coaching staff had no faith in Ronald Jones whatsoever. In this new coaching staff, I feel that they're going to try and eke out, etch out a role for Ronald Jones. Bruce Arians, he said that he's going to try and use Ronald Jones in the role of David Johnson. I'm very excited to see that, and a lot of you guys should be as well. And number three, you got to work on that run blocking with the offensive line. Harold Goodwin, I know he's going to get in there. He's going to look at the tape. He's going to get with that offensive line, and he's going to try his darndest to make sure that that is the best and most balanced offensive line that they can be, and they're going to be pretty decent at everything. I trust Harold Goodwin. I think he's going to do a pretty decent job, a lot better than George Warhop, and I think that that's going to help out Ronald Jones a whole heck of a lot. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think about all of this down in the comment section below. Do you guys think that Ronald Jones can redeem himself, or do you feel that he's a bust and that the Buccaneers should go into free agency and sign a new featured running back, or maybe you guys feel that they should continue to roll with Peyton Barber? Let me know what you think about all that down in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed, and as always, I'll see you in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.